pair double, but have been a big part of the team's success. Bosch Collins transferred from Baylor University this fall, and becoming a Hurricane called for a change in court culture. But she welcomed her new home and team with open arms.
Coming into this program, the intensity and how just the level of everything is much higher. And you have to work a lot harder, and everyone's on the same page too. Very high goals. We all want the same thing. So that was a bit of an adjustment, especially like my first month here.
Miami's dynamic duo has been electric this season, but Fennig and Bosch Collins didn't always have the chemistry they do now.
We had some problems, I would say, in the beginning concerning energy, but we got used to each other really well, and this season we've also played really well, so I just enjoy playing with her a lot.
Even though their playstyles and personalities clashed, Fennig says their differences have only made them a stronger doubles team.
Audrey, I would say, is more like a calm person on court, and I have I'm more intense, I would say. Together we work out really well because I push her up a little, so she calms me down if she needs to.
Fennig and Bosch Collins may seem incompatible, but the sophomore doubles pair have only dropped one match all season long, and they are locked in to keep that momentum going. But for that to happen, Fennig and Bosch Collins will have to play the best way they know how, together.
You don't just play for yourself, but you play for each other. And when you play for something bigger, I feel like you're so much more motivated and you're more ready to fight, and because you play for your friends.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Justin Walkneen.
For one student athlete at the University of Miami, the recent events in Ukraine have hit close to home. Reporter Daryl Barnes talked with tennis player Diana Hoden about how she's dealing with her situation in her home country, nearly 6,000 miles away.
At the Neil Schiff Tennis Center, it's hard not to hear Diana Hoden celebrating after she scores. But it may be even harder to miss Diana cheering for her teammates after her match.
Let's go, Games!
She's definitely had a big personality.
But recently, she's had less to be so excited about. Diana is from Ukraine, where over 2 million people have evacuated since Russia invaded just 2 weeks ago. And with her family still in Ukraine, Diana is using tennis as an escape from that reality.
I think, obviously it's my happy place. So it's helping me a lot right now, I think, because those 3 hours, I'm just trying to think about just tennis.
And while she focused on tennis, her coaches and team decided to do something more. In their match against Clemson, the team unveiled a patch on their jerseys shaped like Ukraine, showing their support for the girl who's typically their biggest cheerleader. And since Diana can't be with her real family, her team is stepping up to act as one.
If you are looking for lifelong relationships, this is the place to be. So it's definitely bigger than tennis.
And while tennis is Diana's happy place, she's using the rest of this season to stand for something bigger than sports.
I feel like, it's my mission to fight here because my people fight in Ukraine, and when I'm between the lines, I'm also fighting for my country.
For UMTV, I'm Daryl Barnes.
Well, Wyatt, that is unbelievable that Diana is able to dominate while playing with such a heavy heart.
Yeah, a heavy heart and a really passion for finishing off top 15 teams. Wake Forest, such nail-biter finishes, and the Hurricanes, they just continue to roll right behind her.
Let's hope they can keep it up. But next on Sports Desk, one Canes rower takes us through the life of training for a rowing season and how competing at the U created new opportunities for her. Regina Potenza sat down with Maya Feldman when we return. Don't go away. But first, it's time for some trivia. Hurricanes basketball has just tipped off in their ACC semifinal matchup against Duke. But when was the last time Miami got to the ACC semifinals? Is it A, 2015, B, 2016, C, 2018, or D, 2021? The answer when we return.
Over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother
I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Guys, another huge night for sports. Canes basketball up early, 20-12 on Duke.
Let's hope they can keep it up, and let's hope we can also get some Mark Light magic against BC.
A lot of Mark Light magic, but I'm still living in yesterday. That Jordan Miller touchdown layup, how could you ask for anything better, Michael?
You can't.
March.
You really can't.
March.
Welcome back. If you guessed B, you are correct. UM finished with a 24-6 record in 2016 to secure a double bye in the ACC tournament. But Miami came up short against Virginia in the semifinals, but still went on to the Sweet 16 in March Madness.
After an unforgettable 22-win regular season under head coach Jim Larinaga, the magic continues for Miami men's basketball in Brooklyn. Let's check in with Niles Niceem on this week's edition of Behind the Post.
Guess who's back, ladies and gentlemen? And I cannot wait because it is finally spring break. So let's dispense with the fun and games because I have a tanning appointment on South Beach. But for now, it's time for the most electrifying segment on TV with me, Niles Niceem, your host with the most. And when you see me on screen, it's time to go behind the post. Cardi at Canes. This basketball team is like the girlfriend you want to get rid of, but she keeps you wrapped around her little fingers. We can't keep counting this team out at this point. After having trouble at home recently, last night the Canes came off a double bye in the ACC tournament to play Boston College in Brooklyn. The game was a tight affair with each team going blow for blow. It would even end up going to overtime. And with the game tied at 69 with 7 seconds left, Charlie Moore passes the ball to Jordan Miller for a buzzer-beating layup to send BC packing with the final score of 71-69. Now Miami is in the semifinals playing Duke right now. This is must-see television, and you need to make sure you tune in. And it's safe to say that Coach L has impacted this program in an incredible way. That's why we must congratulate him for securing the bag. Coach L signed an extension that will go through the 2025-2026 season. You deserve it, Coach, and congratulations. Also, shout out to the football team who started spring ball, and we cannot wait to see all that is in store for this incredible team. Make sure you are on the lookout. And finally, Tuesday was International Women's Day. Thank you to all the women on SportsDesk who do an incredible job. You are loved, you are seen, and we truly do appreciate your existence and presence on the show. Hey, well, that's all the time I have for you today. Remember, be blessed, don't stress, because you can find me every Friday. Never mind, I'll be on South Beach next Friday. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
One Miami club hockey player produces goals and assists on the ice, but also produces off the ice. Reporter Gabby Patrone has the story.
Sam Tober, a 23-year-old sophomore at the University of Miami, has never known a world without hockey.
So hockey's been a part of my life since I was about 2 years old. That's when I started to skate for the first time.
But unfortunately, Sam's dream of becoming a Division I hockey player was short-lived.
When I first tore my labrum, I thought that it would be something I could play through. My hockey career, competitively at least, was pretty much over.
To fill the gap in his life from no longer being able to play hockey competitively, Sam picked up a different hobby that has given him a new sense of direction.
I did start the whole music side of my life during junior hockey. It was kind of funny that while I was chasing one passion, I was able to find another true passion of mine.
And what started out as a fun activity to pass the time ended up turning into a new avocation.
Coming to Miami was a great thing for that because I had all these opportunities with the music industry that I would not have had if I went and played college hockey. So for that, I am very fortunate.
Sam's popularity as an artist has brought him unique opportunities that every musician dreams of having.
Once you're up there, it's a really cool experience because you're able to watch how your music and the things you're doing make other people feel, and kind of controlling the atmosphere that you're in is really cool.
And Sam's passion for music will continue to flourish for the remainder of his time here in Miami.
If I could make one person happy or feel something good with what I was doing music-wise, that was enough for me, and really cool because you feel like something you've created has brought other people happiness.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Gabby Patrone.
Canes rowing starts their season on March 25th against the Stetson Hatters. Regina Potenza sat down with Canes rower Maya Feldman on this week's edition of Athlete of the Week.
Hello and welcome to Athlete of the Week. My name's Regina Potenza, and I'm here with Maya Feldman, a member of the women's rowing team. Maya, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
What made you decide to do rowing at Miami?
So I grew up in Miami. I love it here, obviously, but the weather was definitely something that kept me here. And the campus was just, the second I stepped on to campus and saw the facilities, I was like, this is where I want to go to school.
Overall, how would you describe your rowing experience in college?
I loved it so far. I mean, I think it's a different kind of college experience, but I wouldn't want to change it for a different experience. This is what I was recruited to do. So I enjoy rowing, so it's what I expected.
Who has had the biggest impact on your rowing career?
Maybe either my parents or my coaches in high school, just because they really pushed me to be the best rower that I could be. It definitely took a lot of time in high school, and I had to miss out on a lot of things. So I think just having that support from my parents and my coaches was really helpful.
What would you say is your favorite part about being on the rowing team?
My favorite part, I think just being able to do it with my friends. I think that's what makes it so fun and different than any other thing that you could do on campus.
Well, thank you, Maya, so much for joining us today. Tossing it back to you guys.
Still ahead on Sports Desk, one former Miami student got the chance to showcase his talents at Miami's game at Brooklyn yesterday, and a surprise from a familiar face. Stay with us.
Here are AARP top tips on caregiver preparedness during coronavirus. Form a team that can help with caregiving tasks. Take an inventory of essential supplies in your loved one's home. Make a list of the care recipient's medications. Schedule regular calls to fight isolation. Finally, take care of yourself too. Follow the Centers for Disease Control's guidelines for coronavirus safety. For more caregiving tips, go to aarp.org/caregiving.
Canes football is back on campus. Spring football practice is here, and Monday marked the unofficial start to the Mario Cristobal era. Players and coaches took to the field at Green Tree to prepare for the 2022 season that kicks off on September 3rd. New transfers Frank Ladson, Henry Parrish, Jake Lichtenstein, and the entire 2022 recruiting class suited up for the first time. This week was the first time media could see the revamped roster and the star-studded coaching staff. The Hurricanes finished 7-5 last season and will look to improve on that record under a new regime.
Miami women's basketball made a surprise run to the ACC championship last Sunday. But how did the team keep their magical run alive last week against number 4 Louisville? Let's take you back to the Greensboro Coliseum for this week's play of the day. Hurricanes and Cardinals tied with 4th-ranked Louisville in the second half after Miami wobbled, and Destiny Harden with the turnaround shot. Nothing but net to send the number 4-ranked Louisville Cardinals away. All Canes were stunned on this play. Harden tied a season-high 27 points on 11-15 shooting, igniting a 15-0 run, all under her own power. Miami goes on to win by 2 at the Horn to go on to its first ever ACC championship game against number 2 NC State.
One former student had a special moment at this year's ACC tournament that he'll remember for the rest of his life. Let's head to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. This is Tyler Messer attempting a challenge. He has to hit a free throw, a three-pointer, and a half-court shot. He hits the first free throw. Tyler is a Canes fan who fulfilled a lifelong dream of becoming a Cane when he transferred to the U. Had a little trouble on the three-pointers here. Tyler's third time right here is the charm. He graduated Miami in the class of 2020. And here on the half court, shot just a little close, but it's okay because he's still got time left. Here comes his next heave, and it is perfect. What a moment for Tyler at Brooklyn. And look at this, Sebastian the Ibis comes crashing in and lifts him up like it's the Lion King. Well, Wyatt, the Canes are currently up against Duke, but if they need a half-court shot to win, I think we know who to call.
I think we know who to call, but at this point in the season, you can call almost anyone. Jordan Miller yesterday was an amazing finish against Boston College.
Let's hope the Canes can pull it out, but that's all the time we have for this week's edition of Sports Desk.
We're off next week for break, but we'll return for our next show in 2 weeks.
Have a great night and stay safe.